Listen to the lion of Cameroon roar. Huh. This is my view, and yes, I choose to express myself to the max. So what I do is sit and observe and listen to words. So much confusion I've seen and heard. Many a night time I sat and wrote rhymes and thought about brothers who's deaf, dumb, and blind. They won't heed the signs, won't come together and hold out their hand and say, "What's up, my brother, man?" It's a fact that not man conceive in their mind. They believe they will never ever need help from a brother, man, sister, or other man. But some will leave you and watch you bleed. The true reality for me is unity, coming together and trusting one's integrity. Powers that be are showing mean of dishonesty, claiming to care but they're dealing hypocrisy. Claiming to care but there's still enough poverty around the world daily, and it bothers me. I sum up the verse and won't say no more, but listen to the lion of Cameroon roar. Money. Abeli. Jamane mona. Jamane mona.
Yes, yeah. Welcome once again to your intercommunal sound service, Tunes and a Talk. And as you know, it's all about the music and some interesting conversation. And I've got a very interesting guest today. As you know, it's all about creativity. And this is the platform and the space to introduce that. And when I say creativity, the creativity comes in many forms also. So just stay tuned and be prepared because you might learn a thing or two. You just never know. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce today's guest, Trich. Please step into the space, the platform, tunes and attack. How you doing?
Very well, thank you, Richard.
Yes,
Thank you very much for inviting me.
you know, well, it's an invitation, and what would I call it again? It was probably against your will in a nice way too. And we had to drag you, and I say we because, you know, he is a part of this, you know. So we collaborate and we are allies to get you here, you know.
Yeah.
Because you see, the thing is, Trish is such a creative individual and so modest with what she does, and we just couldn't have it, you know. So we want to share that with you all. And I know your talent lies within the hands, the creativity. And as such as you notice, this photo here, we're going to get into that because this picture, people, watch this space and other space because I have a feeling this very picture you see here is going to be a landmark. You mark my word. And we want to touch on also not just the artistic skills, but the knitting skills also, you know. But before we get into all that, give me the overview and the viewers, you know, the inspiration that got you all started in this world of artistry, creativity. Yeah.
Well, I've got to thank my mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes all the way back to my mum. My mum, amazing woman, brought 6 kids up single-handedly.
Yeah.
And when I was young, she couldn't afford to buy toys.
Yeah.
So what she did was she used to teach us her craft.
Yeah.
And because she couldn't afford to buy knitting needles, she used to get lollipop sticks and file them down. So wooden lollipop sticks,
Yeah.
file them down, and those were our little needles that we learned to knit with. She'd pull old clothing, the wool from old clothing out so that we had our wool. And it was just, that was the beginning of my creativity.
But you know, I'm gonna be probably biased here if you may say, your mom, Jamaican or?
Yeah, Jamaican. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because why I asked though, we Jamaicans, we tend to, you know, along with others, but I'm just gonna say Jamaicans here, always make something out of nothing. So when you tell me lollipop stick, and I'm thinking, you know, just the whole creative elements of everything, you know. All right, so that's more for the knitting, and I know about the knitting in Jamaica because I see, you know, like, you know, my relatives, other people, and it was, and probably still is, a big thing to this day.
Yeah.
You know, and regarding the paint work, the art, you know.
Yeah,
when
I mean,
did
one thing led to another. So my mum started me off, I think, on my creative journey.
Yeah.
She also taught me to crochet.
Mm-hmm.
And from a very early age, I've always liked drawing. So copying pictures from comic books. And so that got me into, I mean, the visual arts is very sort of big for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think organically one thing just led to
another. Yeah.
I always felt like I needed to be doing something with my hands. And that's where knitting and crochet were quite good because unlike painting, I could take them with me wherever I went.
Yeah.
They're so easily transportable. So you'd be sitting on the bus, wherever, and you could get your knitting out. So I never ever had nothing to do creatively.
Yeah. And I realize also, or I understand even from E, you know, you're into like the jewelry making. So it only leaves me to ask, the earrings, are they your creation or?
No, absolutely my creation. I like to sort of push boundaries and mix wool with other materials. So I'm very much, even when I do my paintings, I'm very much a mixed media artistic person.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
very, very much into mixed media. So I will mix things that you wouldn't naturally, I think, put together.
Yeah.
And with my jewelry, it actually interestingly, the jewelry side of things started when I was recovering from a long illness, and I got really inspired by the way that the Maasai adorn themselves.
Yeah.
And I thought, I wonder if I can knit or crochet something similar. Unfortunately, I didn't bring anything today to show the beginnings, the origins of my jewelry making, but I really like to. I've got the very first piece that I did, which today, when I compare it to what I'm doing now, looks very basic, but it started me off.
Yeah.
But I would say that the inspiration for the jewelry that I do definitely is Maasai inspired.
Yeah. And I can see it because, you know, the adornment and all that, you know, decorative kind of ornaments and, you know.
Yeah, I love the use of colours, and I love that they unashamedly dress themselves up with their craft work.
Yeah.
I mean, theirs is beaded, and I do combine, even though I make crochet beading, I do combine that with other glass beads and
Okay. So on that note, we're gonna take a little break. I'm gonna play a track and then come back and you can display, you know, a few of your work, the craft you've got here.
Okay.
And so my guest today is Trich, very creative individual, artistic, and you know, we're just gonna take a track. The first track you heard was from Manu Dibango and MC Mello, and that one was called Senga Abele, mean lion roar. So enjoy.
Still on the borderline is surely like this. Approaching of a UMC is purely hypeness.
A fact.
So I mention it again and again.
It's not necessary.
Those who comprehend my message very clearly, but not along the way of translucent. Throw your hands up for the man's up who sit. Invaders on my fruit basket to a casket, meaning done away.
See the flocks run away.
So as a UMC, I ask myself, who could be the leaders, resembling the stars out of fall?
Well, it's you, Haj G.
And as to find the coolness in me, at a whim, who would freeze blue cheese? Spin a 360 on a runway stop, and hear many more than just one set. UNIVRSAL.
Go on.
Cause we gave them all one thought to grow on.
Apprehend my method. My method is apparent. I see clearly this world's transparent. So I'll reach down deep. Deliver salvation to the hands of the weak, the meek, the mild. Then tame the wild. Cause that's how I'm styled, the wizard of rhyme. My symbol is AU, in layman's term gold, so watch me shine through. A new zoo review coming right at you, and you, Kim is coming through. I grow on because my strength is that of two. If rhymes are both, the beat must be my crew. A mental ingredients, all of which is alarming, not harming, better said disarming. Yes, I disarm ya, I neutralize your weaponry to make it more appropriate to deal with me, and then I give you one to grow on.
I think that I can express it better to you if I sang it for you.
Grow on this when you're feeling kinda small. Grow on this to get through life all. Grow on this to have fun for the creators. Grew and grew, and when the time came, played the old flow short. Now wicked to the port of authority. You and I versus the majority. Here's what we're looking at here at the count of three. Let's hit a UMC cheer.
This to make your life seem great. Grow on this and take control of your fate. Grow on this until you finally understand. Grew and grew and now the boys are you, man. Go sit beside the shoreline, think about your woes. Read the whips and waves, identify your foes. Then realize in this instance of existence, there's great resistance to the minds that mix this. Yes, I've made things known, but then again I'm on the down low. Cause It's obvious because my methods show that I rule on 3 planes of reality, universally, mystically, conceptually. And in due time, you may find that I'm living in the world of my design, and I give you one to grow on.
Yes, and that was the sound of UMCs, and that track is entitled One to Grow. Yeah. So I've got here today with me my creative guest Trich. So I'm gonna leave the painting for last because that's I need that to be like a core focus also, and we're gonna touch on this now. In a Jamaican lingua, I see like Trish have some ganja thing a go on, yeah, so in other words, hemp cloth looking. But before I, let her elaborate on what this is, it reminds me, all on the Jamaican, remember crocus bag? And for all the Brits and all the people across the world, like my friends in Vienna, let me break it down. We had a thing called crocus bag, and they made clothes from it, and this is actually looking like it, which at the same time it looks like a little bit of hemp. So yeah man, but on the Jamaica, you know me I chat about. You see what me I say, crocus bag days, flower bag days. So elaborate, Trish, your material content.
Yeah, well, it's definitely, you call it crocus bag, and I would call it potato sack fabric. And I like I said before, I like to work in mixed media.
Yeah.
So what I did was this actually little design here, which is the opening. This started off as a jewellery piece. So I made jewellery that looked like this, and then I thought that it would be quite good as to form part of the opening of the bag. So I'm mixing wool with Hessian or hemp or crocus bag fabric.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a close up here just for those who wanna see. That's what it's like. So that's the wool there, and
So that's my bag. I also really like to do, I'm a bit of a hippie, so I do like to make certain things that have a hippie kind of element maybe to them, and so I do feature in my work a lot of flowers, flower power, and these are just fingerless gloves. I mean, they're quite common today. A lot of people wear them.
But you see, I love the two-tone concept also. Right, yeah.
So fingerless gloves, that's another version. And then little purses.
Yeah. Nice.
Fully lined crocheted purses.
So the internal is like a little bit of silk.
It does, it is a little bit of silk,
Because what I love about this also, it allows everything to, just my take on it, to if you want to put in your cash, everything slides and fits nicely.
Yeah, it's got little divisions on the inside.
And that's just showing you all what's going on here,
and surprisingly, Ripton, very, very capacious.
Yeah.
You can get a lot in there. And really strong. I've been using mine. I think I first started making them about 7 or 8 years ago, and I'm still using the one that I made 8 years ago.
Because I see in the sewing people, the quality is there, and it's well designed. I can feel it, and I can see it. And the button is like wood.
It's a little wooden button.
Yeah. So everything is like kind of a earthy feeling, And what else,
Well, recently I started making some little crocheted storage units. So, how can you have a crocheted storage unit? But it's a little unit like this that
Okay.
it's really sweet, hung on the back of a door, and these little pockets here are for storage, and I actually have one of these in my hallway, and we tend to keep our keys in them, and I've made slightly bigger ones, and they're really good as letter
Yeah, because
holders.
that's what came to mind, you know.
But
yeah.
people do whatever with them, and it's just like, yeah. And another thing interesting is, with this situation that's going on in the world at the moment, I taught myself through YouTube videos to do something called mosaic crochet.
Okay.
And this is what this design is, and this one, so it's mosaic crochet. This one hasn't been fully put together yet, but it's mosaic crochet, which is
so-
something that I've only just come across. It's been around for quite a while, I think, but I've only just become familiar with it.
So we're saying, since this whole, where I call it global madness started, which that would be, well, it started from last year really. Some people just never know because I heard about stuff, and UK got it about March.
Yeah.
So you would have said probably about ending of March, April,
Yeah.
you got into,
Yeah.
you know. So my lesson from that is, even in the face of adversity, you can still find some sort of joy, or out of negativity there's some positivity. That's my little lesson out of this. And what's interesting also, you know, you got a bit of Mama Nature, aka Mother Nature, yeah, and that's wood right there,
Willow,
willow wood,
that is willow, yeah.
you know. Well, as I said, Willow, shout out to my friend Willow, big up yourself, Willow, you know, because she watches this program consistently and cuss me off if things ain't looking right. So that's Willow. So here you have that, and the back, it's still like the
Hemp,
yeah, and all knitted. So just giving you a close up,
yeah.
and it, you know, it's to your own imagination or creativity, or you wanna hang it, or where you wanna hang it. You know,
But there's
and
so
these
many,
are
this
in
is-
the
this-
making.
In the making, so it's still got pins and things in it. But again, this is mosaic crochet. This is quite an interesting design.
Yeah, yeah.
But with mosaic crochet, something that I really love being able to do is that you can write with it. So
Yeah,
I have
well.
done, I've done some designs where I've written, and it's really personal because I've been able to put like names. And you know, positive wording. Unfortunately, I've sent them off for presents for people, so I don't have any examples of that. But the mosaic crochet has definitely taken my work to another level.
Yeah. And what's interesting, because I'm a person, I just say it like it is, you know. So you know, if your work come, and I ain't gonna tell people yes it's this when it's not. If you know, if it's not up to standard, I'm gonna let people know too. So you know, but what's interesting, because I put myself into things, you know, even like just holding this, and it's an unfinished work, but not a strange thing, but what I feel is the sheer quality of an unfinished product, you know, just the build and everything, and I can feel the rigidity, you know, just everything, all of that, you know, within the work and so forth. And you know, it just makes it more interesting for me just to see what the finished product would exactly be like and feel like, because even though this one is a finished one, you know, and I feel what it's like, this is an unfinished work, but I feel a difference in this work, and this work even feels it's gonna be a bit even stronger than this one.
Yeah, I can explain that actually,
You know?
Ripton, because this is coloured Hessian, and the other one, this one is a stronger Hessian. This one is softer. You know, you said that people would make clothes from this fabric. I mean, I think that making clothes from this particular Hessian would be incredibly hard on the skin, whereas I can imagine clothing being made from this one because it's softer. It is softer.
Because I know people used to make clothes, but the core one they used a lot was the flower bag, you know, because it was like a cotton kind of material. But people would make the pants out of this. probably still, you know, wear it. But when they made the shirt, they made like a vest.
Yeah.
So they would wear a shirt and then made a vest out of this material and over the shirt.
Yeah. Okay. As with this
like this material. Yeah.
the exact same. That.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they made, you know,
Yeah.
and put it over the
Yeah.
shirt.
I mean, this is a very tough fabric because if you can imagine loading like a big bag full of potatoes in it, and you know the way the potatoes would be herded onto the back of vans and things.
Yeah.
So the material would have to be strong enough to deal with some heavy, you know, heavy usage.
And I think that's why I felt that level, you know, a quality in it. All right, and I see you have.
Yeah.
You know,
another thing is I like to use materials that aren't that are meant for a specific purpose, but using them in another way.
Yeah.
Like this feels and sounds. What material would you say that was? What does it feel like?
We'll call it remind me a little bit like.
Would you say like a very lightweight wood?
You know, yeah, I'm trying to remember. It's not bagasse, you know, kind of wood we have.
Balsa wood. Okay. Yeah, this is actually card. So it's it's reinforced card. So it's card that I've layered and glued together, and then once it's acrylic painted and then varnished, it becomes really hard. I mean, that is a solid thing, and then I sand it down, cut shape, sand it down, and then we'll decorate. So it's actually
cardboard. See people, that's actually cardboard right there, and you think it's some sort of wood, you know. Yeah.
And again, this is just a nice hanging on the back of a door or on a wall.
Wherever one chose to.
Yeah, and you can make any shapes from this material.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really versatile.
Okay.
But it's usually made. Its initial purpose was to frame paintings. So you'd have a painting that would go in a frame, and this would be the board that surrounds the painting.
Okay. Interesting.
It's called mounting board.
Okay, I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
But you see, even I myself learn a lot just engaging with people, you know, of yourself with this creative element.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
But you paint it, you attach a little bead, a little string. So again, it's mixed media. Some nice little circular catches to hold everything together, metal catches, and you've got yourself a little piece of artwork.
There you go. So even in this downtime, you know, you use that for what I call a very useful, you know, because this is not just even contributing to your joy, but also people who, you know, will purchase or, you know, have whatever it is. So, like I say, in the face of adversity, people can come so much positive stuff, because like you say, you learn this, you know, all this, you know, madness. So on that note, we're gonna take another song and then come back to Trich and, you know, get into things a little bit more in regards to even the painting. So enjoy. And this track is from my hometown, Blackout, and this one is called I Fall in Love. It's the first album, 1994. So Blackout, J.A., big up yourself, and Noel, the family, everybody big up to, you know. Yeah, man. Enjoy.
Yeah, take it from above, man falling in love. Authentic Blackout and Presley. Sing out this a murder. Pon the girl case, sing.
I'm falling in love with you,
You know? Girl.
I'm falling.
Yeah, man, I fall in love
with you.
and that's true. So they sing. What say? Sure. She no fool my girl intelligent. She no love to create excitement. She no war like and love violence. Hey, she gets a lot of compliment, you know. She no tough like no yam nor no cocoa. She no prostitute nor no go-go. She no walking funeral polo shot. And that's so sing.
Baby, you're the apple of my
Under your spell.
To me, you're an angel in disguise.
You know,
It's no
in disguise.
surprise. So glad, I'm so proud. Thank you for my wife.
No Delilah, no old Jezebel. She a queen and she a hurt angel. No rejected, she no get expelled. She no go hell. She no live no farmer dirty life. She no hold near than she no hold wife. She no dull, she always shine bright. She's out of sight. Sing along. I want you for my
I'm
wife.
falling in love.
A wedding band, you know. From the horn and a mercy.
I'm falling in love.
Hey, you want to hear the worst part, Presley? You want to hear the part, Hear the part, She not too fat and she not too slim. She not dull, she's so exciting. She a princess, no ugly duckling, you know. She'll win. Sure. She a my girl and a me she love. Nah get blame when push comes to shove. No contagious, nah fi wear no gloves. Cause she no dogs, you can sing it.
For the first time, I see my baby. I know something good in store for me.
Yeah, that's damn true.
And now my dreams come true.
Your dreams come true, mine too.
I have somebody who can love so true.
She no fool my girl intelligent. She no love to create excitement. She no wild like and love violence. Hey, she gets a lot of
I
compliments.
sing,
A lot of compliments.
I'm falling in love with you.
Man, all the fall like Jordan River.
I am falling in love with you.
You think you're not alone? Eh? She no half key, she's a perfect note. Good letter, no murder, she go out. Hey, see if she down go for all election. She down get me vote, sing.
I'm falling in love with you.
Tell the girls.
Say that I am falling in love,
You know? Hey, sit up. She not too fat and she not too slim. She not dull, she's so exciting. She a princess, no ugly duckling, you know. She's in. What's that? She a my girl and a me she love. Nah get blame when push comes to shove. No contagious, nah for wear no gloves. She no gloves, sing along, hey.
I'm falling in love with you.
About 90 girl me alone
Falling
now.
in love with
Me alone. Every girl after me.
falling in love.
What am I chat about?
Yes, that's the sound of blackoutja from his first album done by Sky High and the Mama, and that one is I Fall in Love. Yeah, man. So I'm here with Trich elaborating, and I can, yes, because I was gonna ask you to give a display, what it's like.
Yeah.
And I guarantee, they keep the hand comfortably warm and in comfort and style, yeah. Interesting, and I really like the two-tone, and this one, what I realized there's kind of show it, from a distance it's looking like a two-tone, but when you look at this bottom bit, you realize there's another color element going on right there, so this is all wool.
All wool.
Wool, yeah.
Crocheted, yeah.
Crocheted, yeah, man. But all I know, me I go throw Trish in a deep end right now, because the gloves they want to say, they all flowers. I mean, some man would want to wear some of these gloves too, but some man are gonna say, boy, flowers thing, man, are no fancy, so. So, is there anything, for the male side of things,
Yeah. I don't do very many things for men, but when I make these fingerless mittens for men, they're in plain colours. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then that's why I'm saying we're throwing at the deep end. You have to fix you up and make me stylish, so, yes.
I can definitely sort you out, Ripton. I can definitely sort you out with hair.
Yeah, man, because it's really nice, and
Thank you.
and a lot of people that definitely enjoy.
Yeah, thank you.
Because me get it test and approval and say, yeah.
And the great thing about fingerless gloves, which I think people will appreciate, is that it leaves your fingers free.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, leaves your fingers free to do things. And they're not just for wearing outside. A lot of the people who ask me to make gloves for them, it's to keep their hands nice and warm
Yeah.
inside the home.
Yeah.
You know?
You see, interesting.
Yeah, especially if you have circulation problems, they're really good.
And what I find out, you know, because I've put on gloves, I can feel like the material, you know, when it's like really synthetic, you feel it.
Yeah.
You know, it's supposed to make your hand, finger comfortable, but it actually doesn't because to what I use, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, this really feels,
Oh, thank you.
you know, and I feel like it, you know, it's really maneuver to the hand. It's not like if you extend your fingers, you feel like it's squeezing, like it's, you know, it's staying in one place. It expands and everything work with the hand, you know. So yes, so you know, I'm gonna call a thing the seal of approval, the tunes and a talk seal of approval. So
Thank you for that.
you got the
Thank
seal
you.
of approval.
Oh, thank you, Ripton.
You know, yeah.
Thank you.
Because, you know, all of you who know me, I'm just very direct and, you know, I say it like it is. And, yeah, so it has gotten the seal of approval.
Yeah, thank you. I mean,
You
everything
know?
that I make, I do make with love.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I do.
You can see and feel
yeah,
it. You
I
know?
really do. And if something is very, very like labor intensive, like this pattern, for example, was quite labor intensive.
Yeah.
But I do it and I enjoy it, and it completely distracts me from everything, every sort of negative that's going on in the world at the moment. You just get totally absorbed in, or I get totally absorbed in my work.
Okay, all right. So moving from this creative element to this picture. Now, I have a overview on this entire picture, but I want to just get a little elaboration in regards to what's happening here, you know, with this picture and who is in the picture, so the people can understand what's going on.
Yeah, this is a piece that I was asked to make for Evadne, who writes plays, drama, based on Dido Bell.
So that's Dido Bell, yeah.
Yeah, and so in this particular painting, Dido, her next journey, because I think this is the third play from Evadne Bygrave, and Dido is going through the looking glass to meet some historical characters. I'm not sure if they...
And here it's a little photo of Nanny of the Maroon, and you know, Nanny is on the $500, and Sam Sharp, who is on the $50. So she's actually going back to Jamaica.
That's right. So she's so it allows her to travel back to meet various historic characters. So that's what's going on in this piece. So I wanted Dido to the image on the left. Is that the left or the right? Probably the viewer's left. To be quite statically pensive. But when she meets the image reflected back at her, I mean, I don't know if you agree that the image is a lot more open.
Because I was gonna put, not to cut in a train of thought, but I was gonna put you right on the spot and question you about the picture, because I realized, as you said, pensive, you know, she's really, but here, you know, so I was gonna ask, is there a concept behind it, or was it just a sheer mistake? What, you know? So
well, I always think that the ladies from this particular period had to hold themselves with a certain propriety.
You know, aristocracy
like
kind of.
Very much so. Especially someone from her.
Like I'm being posh, I'm drinking my tea.
Yeah, very posh, very posh. But yet when she goes through the looking glass, it's almost like she can breathe a new life and energy into who she is. And so really that was what I wanted to reflect in this
And it actually did, because
Okay.
I never asked, I've spoken to Evadne in regards to it, and I've never asked the concept behind it, because I realized the pictures were different. So I was wondering, was it a mistake, or there was a concept behind it? So
Yeah.
now I know the reason,
Yeah.
which totally makes sense,
Yeah.
So it has done its work,
Oh,
in all
thank
honesty.
you. Yeah.
And what I love is also it's a painting, people. It makes you wanna touch it, and because just the whole floral design, just the whole intricateness of what's going on. And how did you get like the patterns, all these patterns?
Yeah, that is through very careful stenciling. Yeah, so the background was stenciled in really carefully, just to again bring an element of the period that Dido Bell is from, and maybe a wallpapered element.
Yeah, because I know exactly what you're saying, because even back in those times, some of the houses that were designed, even in Jamaica, if you go some places, houses from those centuries, you can see a little bit of, few elements going on. They used to use them in columns.
Yeah.
But especially where they used to, you find this a lot, was like on the verandas, like as a post, like keeping the roof up.
Oh, right.
And they create design and cut them out. You used to see it a lot. I grew up seeing a lot of those.
Yeah, lovely.
So I can relate to it.
Yeah.
So the whole, way how you got that done was doing the print first, and then the entire art over the print.
I actually did the print around the painting. So the painting Dido.
The painting was done first.
Yeah, and then the print carefully placed around.
Wow. So for me, I would have thought the print first and then the painting, but that's to me even more complex, if you ask. But speaking of Dido also, I know there's an and we're speaking of Dido Bell, and there's a film out also called Bell. I've never watched the film, but I know Dido has is an interesting person. I wouldn't say character. She's an interesting person with an interesting story. And that's where I know Evadne Bygrave comes in, because she's been doing the Dido story, for quite a while. Yeah. And stay tuned, because I will have an interview with the lady herself, who's the CEO and the director of the pantomime, and another creative playwright, singer-songwriter. So she'll elaborate a lot more on the whole Dido story, because there's a lot of interesting stuff regarding Dido, and things just seem to be unfolding more and more. And these are relevant, parts of, I would have said, British history, so to speak, that has been kept hidden for quite a while and needs to be surfaced.
Absolutely.
So that's what's gonna happen in due time. And like I said before, pay attention to this particular painting and things around Dido, because I know Evadne definitely has a momentum going, and there's going to be a lot of things that will be unfolded around Dido. Yeah. So for those of you who know the story, do look a little bit more, and believe me, there's a lot more to come, a lot more. So watch this space, So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take one more track and come back, wrap up a little bit. Stay tuned for Nickie's Toolkit, and just enjoy the vibes. You're in tune to your intercommunal sound service, Tunes on a Talk, with your host, Soul's Liberation, and my guest and your guest, Trich. Yeah.
Love.
such classic. Wow. Yes. And that's the sound of, who's that?
Misha Paris.
Yes. And the track entitled I Should Have Known Better. And before I get into, chat with you again, I gotta say much respect to Misha. I've listened to her music over the years, performed to, to our tracks also. And also Omar, because I think if I'm correct, and if I'm incorrect, correct me on this, anyone, but I'm sure it was Omar who did the production on this track. Or he has something to do with this track also. And they were two of my favorite artists, are still two of my favorite UK artists. And I'm gonna say, you can't get a better R&B sound, or what I want to call it, neo soul or acid jazz, than some of these artists. Because I remember, I learned these artists being in Jamaica. It's not when I came to the UK. So I'm listening to these artists from the early 90s. I know you had the Talking Loud record label with, you had people like Tommy Payne, you had the group like Kia Creative, so much great artists, The Perception, Young Disciples. There was a lot of great sounds coming out of the UK. But I have to say big up to Jamaica, because you know why? A lot of Jamaican influence are in the music. For example, Omar and Misha, I know the parents are Jamaican. You had a group like Five Star, So the Caribbean on a whole has a lot with, developing the UK in many ways, and musically. So England in particular, embrace everything that you have in this place, because I feel England could have been a musical icon of the world, not being funny. It wouldn't be the food capital of the world, but England could have been the musical capital of the world to the influx of music that came to this place. But I don't think England embraced it the proper way. But that's for another story. Back to you, Trish.
Well, I was actually going to ask you, because the group Five Star, they're from the sort of 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
So were they well received in Jamaica?
Oh, we are talking about, if Lorraine, Darius, Denise, Delroy, and Stedman listening, that's how I know you all name. You were well received in Jamaica, well loved, especially amongst the female. They used to dance the track. We used to go clubbing and so forth, and it was brilliant. Five Star, the radio station, because the parents were Jamaican. I think the mother is Indian and the father was a black man. Yeah. So all those things, UK need to embrace that. So
yeah, absolutely. I think they're a fabulous group. Absolutely fabulous group.
And still have that level of respect to this day for that group. So thanks for all the music.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So before I wrap up things and we get into Nickie's toolkit, I know this is something you started for your own, creative element. Is there a form of advertising via website or anywhere, anyone, in case anyone wants to get in touch? Is there somewhere getting in touch?
Rickton, I have to say, I don't have a website. I don't have an online presence at the moment.
Which is understandable.
But what I really love doing is I love selling my craft face to face. So I do a lot of little craft markets. And I'm really strongly affiliated with one particular craft market that happens in Cheam, which is in Surrey. And so I love that face-to-face contact, and I've built up.
And I'm with you on that also. So that happens.
However, I do realise that the way to go is to eventually have some kind of online presence. So that's a work in progress at the moment.
Yeah, but sometimes your work can speak for itself also, you never know, But if anything, when does the market happen?
We have three markets a year, sometimes four. So we usually have a Christmas market, which sadly isn't happening this year. We have a Valentine's market, and we have a Mother's Day market, and we might occasionally have like a little summer's market. But for the foreseeable, nothing's happening.
All right, so what I, can recommend to you all, you all can, if you want to get in touch with Trish and purchase any craft, or just for conversation or interest, or, find out more about her creative work, or maybe want to hire her for a workshop, whatever, me I sell you, me advertise you. She not tell me still, but me I do it off for my own initiative. You can drop me an email, or there'll be another contact in regards, because there's a connection also with Evadne Bygrave, so there might be another email in case you want to get in touch with Trich. Just check the description, people, and just support the creativity, because like I said, this is what the space is about. Yeah, so I just want to say thanks for your time and space.
Thank you.
I'm sure people enjoyed, and I know I'm gonna get some feedback, and I hope there's a connection in some way, because this is what the platform is about, people connecting. I'm not a middle person, but call me the connector. Once I make the connection, I just jump off and make the current flow, that kind of thing, yeah?
Well, even if I've inspired someone to, get creative, then that's, I like that idea.
But I know all of this is going a long way. And like I said, stay tuned, people, because even this painting that Trich did, in regards to Dido Bell, this story has a bigger picture, and it's going to go a long way. And you'll meet the lady who's responsible for bringing a lot of this to life. So stay tuned. Watch the space, yeah. All right. Yeah, man.
Thank you, Richard.
Trish,
thank you so much.
Yeah, man. And keep on keeping on.
I will.
Yes. So we're going to take a little break and listen to the lady who's love of life. I have heard a student. She's a mother. She's my sister from another mother also. Mother from nature. And overall, a lovely person. Nickie. So enjoy Nickie's toolkit.
Namaste and welcome to the Toolkit. I am Nickie, and thank you so much for joining me at this time, at this place, in this space where we share thoughts, ideas, tools for a nourishing, wholesome, and supportive life. And as we transition from one calendar year to another calendar year, embracing and accepting everything that has happened in the year that has passed, learning the lessons, shedding what we need to shed, and making way for really what is going to nourish and support us, moving out of spaces that have been less than supportive and moving into places and spaces, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, that will support us much more. What I want to talk about today are two words that have found their way into my space as we close out 1 year more than normal. And the words are honesty and integrity. Recently, or within recent times, I have had reason to be in exchanges that have brought these words up. And so, as I looked around and as I assessed the situation, it was clear, what was abundantly clear, was that these two words in so many places, in so many spaces, with so many beings, have truly lost meaning, importance, and pride of place, or primary place, because we have spent so much time normalizing things that are truly dishonest. And one of the things that I like to do is I start with self, honesty and integrity as values and as guiding principles. We start with self. And so I want to invite everybody, as you look at the year that has gone, have you been honest with yourself? And we don't even have to go to what are the big pictures or the societal descriptions largely of what honesty is. Start with the commitments that you've made to self that you did not honor, you haven't honored. And while you're holding yourself accountable, while we're holding ourselves accountable, let's also be gentle, because we don't have to be harsh in the process. And sometimes, things get lost because we address or missteps or misgivings or poor judgment by being harsh. And so do the audit, stop and pause. Don't build on things that have not been supportive for you in the calendar year that's passed. Why take it into another year? So stop and have an honest moment with ourselves as we transition, as we look at everything that 2020 brought us, and as we prepare for 2021 that we've never seen. Let's put ourselves in a position to find what is most nourishing and supportive about the year that's coming ahead of us. And let's, while acknowledging that it's a year ahead of us, the reality is we only have the moments that we have. So let us approach each moment in and with honesty and integrity. And let's start with self. That is how we build momentum. That is how we shift paradigms. And so I invite you at this time and at this moment to spend some time with self. Explore the principles, the ideas, the words of honesty and integrity. See how you are living it. See how it's playing out in our lives. See what we can do to amplify it. And see what we can do to make it more available in everybody's lives. All beings everywhere who we share time and space with. Thank you for sharing time and space with me in 2020. I look forward to sharing more time and space with you in 2021. And may you be safe, may you be happy, may you be healthy. Namaste.
All right, hope you enjoyed that, and we're gonna close off with our final track, and this one is from Nathan Hines and Dude, and a little up-tempo vibes. So as always, people, walk well, stay well, be well, and my little question to you is, what inspires your creativity? Now remember, I know there's a psychology when I ask the question, and it makes you think. You can create your own term or decipher it in your own way. But what inspires your creativity? Now remember, I also mentioned creativity comes under a huge umbrella. So hit me up as always. Again, what inspires your creativity? Thanks again to Trich. And I always say, take the time to be kind to each other. We all need it in this time. Peace, love, unity, and listen without prejudice.
Gonna rain but can't take an umbrella. Need to get some cheese, and yes, I do know how fascinating it is. As a vocal artist, I shouldn't be eating cheese. Yogurt, ice cream type after work before rush hour. Kids already home from school and nobody raves on a Wednesday evening. As I was walking in my so glad no one I know lives near me, tracksuit bottoms, white air whack trainers. Quickly put on, hold on, Lyrical, isn't that Inside Out? Jumper, just as I saw him. He was tall with a meaning, dark enough to never question which box to tick, shoulder broad enough to make a quarterback insecure, with his will you marry me smile, which released the purest yes I will tea. Hi. catastrophe. Made the situation worse than it clearly needed to be. Thought after the thinking, the opportunity to link in, but now the brain thinks I'm drinking or possibly lean. It's obscene because I'm real and I'm clean. Okay, you go and see. Wish I could live this day again. Please can I live this day again? 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 Please can I live? Please. It was a happy, shiny forehead, beads on my top lip. Need to get some ice cream, and yes, I do know how fascinating it is. As a vocal artist, rare. Water fight, sleeping in the garden, calling sick to go beach in East Jordan's type of Tuesday. And I was walking in my slip-on, step cross trainers. Cocoa butter was made for my left and right to wear those. Aren't you related to Flojo shorts? Confident, carrying myself well. Please don't hate on me, Angela Bassett horse neck when I saw him. No, my bad, no, he saw me. I smiled at his attempt to call me as I continued past him on my journey. But if he walked away, it would burn me, it's too early. So I stop, I turn around, I look at him and I'm like, hi. I mean, well,